Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, a whole bunch of people were calling to cancel their cruises because they got it wrong. Let's first off talk about P&O Cruises, the most popular British cruise line out there. If you wanted a traditional British sailing, you would probably look at Cunard and you would probably look at P&O Cruise Line. And P&O Cruise Line would be the larger of the two. Well, recently they've been in turmoil because a lot of people are calling them out and complaining about them and threatening to never sail with P&O Cruise Lines again, and they're gonna cancel all their cruises and they're getting ready to protest, and it's all over 800 people being basically sacked with 1 day's notice. By the way, guys, today is your last day of work. Congratulations. And that was announced. But here's the kicker, everybody. Here's the kicker with everyone who was getting mad and everyone who was sending in hate letters and emails and complaints. It's not P&O Cruise Lines that did it. It's P&O Ferries, a completely different company. One is owned by Carnival Corporation and one is owned by a company in Dubai. It is not at all the same company. P&O Cruise Lines did not fire 800 people. It was the ferry industry, the P&O Ferries, and boy, people, and you know what? They almost have the exact same kind of looking logo, right? The big P and O, and then ferries and P&O Cruises. The difference is P&O has that big British flag on the front of their ships. I know a lot of people can get very mixed up with that, but it is completely two different companies, and it just goes to show you sometimes you gotta really watch who you get mad at, because people were so mad that they started calling in and threatening to never sail with them again, and they were getting inundated so much that P&O Cruise Line had to come out with a statement saying, hey, we have no association with those people at all. We didn't lay anybody off. We are trying to hire more people because we're going back to sailing. We're going back to cruising. This is not us. And so, yeah, good news. P&O Cruise Line is not responsible for that horrible day of just firing 25% of the workforce, by the way, 800 people, by a virtual message. Hi everybody, this is your CEO of P&O Ferries. Today's your last day of work. You know, like complete heartless, complete garbage. And they deserve all the backlash that they should get. But that again, P&O Ferries are the ones that should get that, not P&O Cruise Lines. They have done absolutely nothing to deserve any of that anger aimed at them. Well, I also have a few more good, but before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Really helps the channel out. It says, hey, everybody on YouTube, people like cruising videos. Let's share it to more people and see how many other people are interested in cruising. And that's what helps grow the channel. It doesn't cost anything. It's not signing up for anything. It's not a fee service. It's just helping the channel out. And again, I would really appreciate it. Okay, some clarification. The other day I mentioned that Canada is now changing some of their testing policies for entering Canada. If you are a fully vaccinated person, you no longer have to test to fly into Canada. And I said this should happen for cruise lines as well, because it doesn't make sense that you could drive over the border or fly into Canada, but then you have to take a COVID test when you're stepping off a cruise ship for 1 day of vacation. Good news is, no, you don't. They have confirmed that no, to get off the cruise ship in Canada, you do not need that COVID test, which is great news for the cruise lines. They don't have to administer it in the middle of the cruise. They don't have to stock up on all these COVID tests. Great news for the cruise line industry, especially going into Alaska and the Canada season coming up soon. Not to mention transatlantics, transpacifics. It would have been a mess. However, there is one caveat that right now, as of now, you still need a COVID test to get on board. I don't think that's going to change in the next couple of months. We just saw Royal Caribbean update there saying that, until the end of May, you're still going to need to have that COVID test to get on board. So testing is still going to be there, but only to get on the ship. And it's that 2 days. You don't have to worry about a PCR test to fly into Canada was 3 days, but an antigen test was 1 day. And I got to try and line that up with my cruise. You no longer, as of the end of this month, have to worry about that. It's just that 2-day antigen test to get on the cruise ship. And as I said before, the cruise lines are now trying to set up in Vancouver, so when the cruising starts, they're going to have testing in the port for anyone who needs to get tested to get on board. Or you can do it just like you have been doing it all along. You take a test on Thursday, you fly in on Friday, and you sail on Saturday. You just have to time it correctly. Great news for anyone planning to head up to Alaska and have stops in Canada or are leaving from Canada. Much easier to fly. And hey, I'm flying again next month to my Panama Canal cruise, and it's going to feel so good not having to worry about which cruise line is going to test me and which cruise line isn't going to test me, and do I have to find it on my own? Because I know where to go in Fort Lauderdale. Don't know where to go so much in LAX other than the airport, which was really expensive. Really happy about all that news. Also in some good news, the Cayman Islands just came out with their restrictions and their guidelines for cruise ships that are also starting this month, and there is much more easing of restrictions there. Passengers no longer need to get tested to get off the ship. Children 12 and under will be considered the same status as the parents on board while sailing. Cruise ships still have to have a certain amount of COVID restrictions, like passenger-wise. The percentage of your crew and passengers have to be under a certain percent to be allowed into port. However, that number has gone from 1% to a little bit higher. Also, crew members also have to be 100% vaccinated. That's pretty much a must. And pretty much all cruise lines have done that. They get their people tested and they get their people vaccinated before getting on board. It just makes sense for them to make sure that there's no spread amongst the crew. We all remember what happened with Omicron and how it shut down everybody. And now there's the new variant, Omicron B, blah, 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 blah. All good news coming so far as the end of the pandemic is concerned and cruising restarting. So great news. Remember, here we go. P&O Cruises is not the people who laid off 800 people. Alaska, you no longer need to get tested to stop in Canada, to fly in Canada. That makes things easier for our Alaska group cruise coming up in June, as well as Cayman Islands are getting ready and they've eased their restrictions a lot, so more ports opening as well. Pretty good news today in the cruising news industry. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.